I've been self-conscious about armpit sweat or armpit odor for as far back as I can remember. Like any person, I've tried many deodorants and antiperspirants and combinations of the two, all in an effort to combat this and live comfortably. For the most part, I was doing fine. Here and there I would switch brands, but I believe I had things handled as best I could. The switch to natural deodorants never occurred to me until I started being bombarded with Dr. Squatch ads during isolation. So I decided to try it, then another and another. Like always, trying to find the brand that worked best for me, but sticking with the natural deodorants this time to see if there were any good benefits of it. At first, I wasn't impressed, and I jumped back and forth between natural and my old deodorants. But finally, I stuck it out, and here's what happened. Now, I understand there's plenty of skepticism surrounding natural deodorants and their effectiveness. They don't work, they don't last, and I am just too sweaty. And to all my sweaty guys, like, in the comments, man, the number one thing I see when it comes to wearing natural deodorant is, oh man, this is never gonna work for me. I sweat too much. Or pretty much, that's it. Pretty much, I sweat too much. So before you go into all this rah-rah about sweating, listen, man. I own a gym. I am here all day, every day. Okay, I do get one day off. But I am moving around, like physically sweating for hours, okay? I'm here for 10 to 12 hours a day. When I get here, my wife and I get our workout done. I usually have clients, and for the kind of training that I do, it's not a sit and watch kind of training. Sometimes I have jiu-jitsu clients, I have boxing clients, I have kickbox clients. I have to move with them, I have to hold, I have to train with them. So I'm sweating there. And then as I'm teaching my classes, I have to engage, I have to show techniques all day, and I'm teaching between 5 to 7 classes a day. That's 7 hours of movement on top of my own workout. Now, before all the chemicals and before my body detoxed from the regular chemical deodorants, there was an odor, okay? And so for the first month of using natural deodorants, I was very paranoid, I was very uncomfortable. Not only am I in this gym all day and sweating, it's a small space. People are very close to you. Listen, when there is someone in here who brings some kind of smell with them, whether it's their gear, damp clothes, body odor, or dirty laundry, you will smell it throughout the whole gym. There is no hiding from any kind of funk in here. So I did there was this transitional period as I was detoxing and all that stuff was coming out of my system or coming off of my skin that I wasn't comfortable, and I almost gave up. I almost gave up a few times. I have a locker in my office, and when it got really, really bad and I got really, really self-conscious, I had to resist the urge to go into my locker here and grab my old men's spray deodorant with all the aluminum and 24-hour protection and all of that antiperspirant chemical stuff. In those moments, I remember asking my wife, because she had been using, like I said before, she had been using natural deodorant for a while. I was like, man, I don't know if this stuff really works. I think some of the people in the comments are right. This stuff doesn't last. It is an antiperspirant, and I'm starting to feel really self-conscious about the odor. And my wife was like, oh, just reapply the deodorant. She said when she first started, she just had to reapply it, just put it on in the middle of the day. So I was like, oh, okay. So I started to keep a stick of like Dr. Squatch or the Ballsy Pit Stick or whatever natural deodorant I had. Usually comes in 2-3 packs anyway. So I was keeping one in my locker alongside my chemical antiperspirant spray just in case. So then I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to have to keep reapplying it throughout the day because I felt like, okay, then what's the purpose of using this stuff if I have to put it on 2 or 3 times a day? But a handful of times as I was dealing with that self-consciousness about my odor or my body odor from all the sweating, I did apply a second coat like late afternoon going into my nighttime classes, dealing with my students and my members at night. Fortunately, I stuck with it and I just got over it, okay? it got less and less as the days went on, and I got less and less self-conscious, obviously, and I started to really see, like, week 5 or 6, and I can't be exact with that, but I started to feel that dissipate, and I started to think maybe the natural deodorant is just lasting longer. And that's exactly what was happening. And it was because my body had finally started to detox from the chemicals and the aluminum and all that stuff that was caked to my skin that my body had to really get rid of. Understand, like I said before, all that stuff that you've been spraying on your body for years, okay? It sticks to you, it sticks, okay? And then the bacteria and the sweat and all that, it clogs up because the aluminum flakes are there to clog your pores to keep you from sweating. What I found is that it was making me sweat more. All the years that I've used deodorant, even with the spray deodorant, and I'm gonna tell you now, the spray deodorants that even say 24-hour protection, I had to reapply like right before a grappling class or something. So late afternoon, kind of the same with the natural deodorant. But even with those antiperspirants, I had to reapply that. And these are ones that say 12-hour protection, 24-hour protection, because again, I would continue to sweat. Now, as time went on, and I'm gonna say, I wouldn't say it was exactly 6 weeks. I'm thinking maybe towards 8 weeks, but I can't be for sure. But I just started to notice that I didn't have to reapply deodorant. It was lasting all day, and I didn't have an odor, number one. Number two, I was sweating less. That was an epiphany for me, or that was an interesting moment because I didn't see that coming. I thought that I would just sweat the same. I thought the way I sweat in my armpits is the way I sweat. But what I learned is that all that clogging, all those chemicals meant to stop me from sweating was actually making me sweat more. And without all that stuff caked to my body, I was sweating less. Now let me tell you, as far as my body odor going away and me sweating a lot less, I don't recall changing my diet much at all. I think I was eating the same way. I was actually training more than before I started the natural deodorant. So there weren't other changes or outliers that I can say caused this. Now I'm at least 5 or 6 months into just using natural deodorant. And I'll tell you, man, I don't have any body odor. I was just talking to my wife this morning how on my days off, I just don't even put deodorant on. And I don't sweat as much, and I don't have an odor. I'm not immune 100% to an odor. There are days that there's a slight odor, but it is nowhere near what me or any other man is dealing with on days that they're not wearing deodorant. Again, that is because I believe that all the chemicals and all the aluminum, all that stuff that's caked in there has bacteria caked to you, and you cannot scrub that off. I will say, well, there is one thing I was doing on top of the deodorant using the Ballsy Pit Stick that I've stuck with. That seems to be the one that works the best for me. I started using charcoal brick soap. So I use bars of soap. I use body wash a couple times a week, 2 or 3 times a week. But I learned that it was kind of messing with my skin. So I went back to regular soap. But I buy the bricks of soap from Ballsy, sometimes Dr. Squash or Duke Cannon. But I love big bars of soap. But I started buying charcoal ones that have activated charcoal. So I do use that. At least 4 times a week I wash my body with that. I don't know if that has any effect, or maybe it was just helping speed up the removal of all the chemicals that were on my skin. Look guys, I don't have all the science. I can only tell you what I've experienced. And this is in response to people in the comments saying stuff like, oh man, this guy just got used to his body odor. Oh man, this guy, there's no way, he still has funk, you know, but, and I know what they're talking about, because here's our problem, guys. Here's the problem. We want everything fast. We don't have the patience to like wait things out, to stick to something. Look, that's why people are struggling with bad habits. They can't stick to stopping it for 30 days to form new habits. We can't, you know, guys aren't willing to kind of deal with what it takes to kind of detox from chemical deodorants to really see if there's a benefit for them specifically. They're not willing to go 6 to 8 weeks like that. And I understand, because I had a back step. There was one point where I got desperate and I did spray some deodorant on, and I felt like, damn, I just probably set myself back a week or 2. Now, I don't know if it was that severe, but I just was so disappointed in myself that I just didn't do it again, and I just dealt with the detoxing. Outside of dealing with the odors and stuff as you're detoxing and stuff, there was no like reaction to my body or any feelings about it as far as I feel a certain way. It's just coming off my skin. But again, I'm just telling you, this is the negativity that you're gonna see from people, because again, nobody wants to put in the time it takes to really change something. They want it now. Oh, I started using natural deodorant and I got off of the chemical stuff, and boom, 2 weeks later, no odor, no. What really opened my mind was I Googled it. I looked it up and it said that it would take at least 6 weeks. Going in knowing that, it helped me be much more patient and go through what I was going through. Look, man, no harm, no foul. If it didn't work out, I go back to buying the deodorants I was using before. In the end, I'm very happy with how it turned out, and I'm very happy with the deodorant that I'm using, and I'm very happy that I just don't have, man, I'm just not sweating like I used to. Look, in this shirt, a shirt like this, there would be a massive stain already just from standing here talking to this camera. When I tell you I sweated a lot in my armpits, before I retired, when I had my career, and I was in the office all day, and I was in a suit, man, I was so embarrassed at the sweat stains I used to have in my shirts. And it just seemed like it would get worse and worse, to the point where not just sweating here, like you get that weird, the sweat rolling down your body. It's nice not having that. It's nice not dealing with a BO when your deodorant doesn't hold up. So this is my experience, guys. I consider it to be a positive outcome. I consider it to be a positive experience in this aspect. So I wanted to post this because I did a couple of videos, and I'll put some cards up or links in the description maybe, but to videos that I've done where I discussed compared some of the deodorants that I talked about in the beginning of the video. But I wanted to do kind of an update because there was a lot of comments where, about whether this stuff works or is it worth it, or why people wouldn't transition over, and then being a heavy sweater, and then, oh, he's just funky and just dealing with it. I kind of get that too, man. Trust me, I've been around people who I'm like, man, did this person even put deodorant on today? And they just kind of had like a I don't really care look on their face. So maybe some people think that that's me, like I don't care, and I'm just dealing with the odor that's coming off my body. Trust me, man, that is not the case at all. I'm very self-conscious about that. But fortunately, after sticking it out, I don't have to deal with it. So I hope this video helps you if you're considering it, man. And again, I'm not a doctor or scientist or anything like that. I don't know if it's gonna work for you. It just worked for me. But what do you lose trying to switch over to natural deodorant for 2 months to see if it's of great benefit to you? Okay, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you got time, man, poke around the channel. I cover a lot of different topics. I'm into a lot of different things. And, show some support, show some love, and watch some more videos if you think you'd like to do that. If you don't, I appreciate you watching this video, and I thank you for making it to the end. I'll see you in the next one, guys.